Record.
There we go.
Hello
Recording.
everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome back to our channel. How are you doing? So we are back with our talks,
Yes.
and
So excited.
today we are doing uncomfortable, vulnerable, and funny, not just any MIL and DIL stereotypes. I'm gonna be asking questions to Sasuma here about which are supposedly funny. We'll find out. They are just prompts. We are just doing it for fun. So let's just start this, right? What do you think?
I say so. So just for any of my friends that I'm going to decipher MIL, mother-in-law, right? And
Mhm.
DIL, daughter-in-law. It might be obvious, but yes, this podcast is about us. And maybe you think this is a ordinary, typical relationship, and maybe you think, wow, no, it's not. It's something different. But it is what it is for us. It's this beautiful friendship that's unfolding. So we're doing it on camera.
Hmm.
So you can see
Yeah,
what our conversations are like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the first question is, what is something? It's feeling like coffee with Karan. I'll show you coffee with Karan someday. But okay, the question
Uh,
is, what is something you secretly expected from me as a daughter-in-law that you never actually said out loud?
okay. Okay, so just to frame the question, dun dun dun, I got a phone call from my son who had been in India for 3 weeks,
Mm, mm.
short time, and he said, "Mom, can you get to India? I'm marrying Asta." So in 3 weeks, I land in India, and
Oh. Mm.
I had never met Asta in person. We met once over the phone only when Adam surprised her and like put a camera on her. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not even ready to meet you."
Mm.
So I think what I
Wow. What a
first,
memory you unlocked for me also. Huh? Mm.
yes, she was, I thought, so based on that,
Huh.
I think
Secretly
I
expected from
secretly,
me.
yeah, I think I secretly expected you to be quieter, more shy, and maybe that there would be some gap with communication or
Mm.
something, right? Just I had no idea. With zero travel to India, I wasn't aware how the culture would be and what to expect at all.
Mm.
And so I feel like secretly I desired that we would be best friends. It was
Oh.
like I only wanted that. I just
Woo!
didn't, I thought it might take a while to get there.
I am lucky, man. I could not expect that that was your expectation of me. Like that was like usually okay. I'm just lucky. I
And I'll
have no, you say.
I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Why I say that is because just so everyone listening understands, my children, so Adam, who's married to Asta, Adam and Priscilla are my life, my heart, and like my two best friends. So for anyone to come into that could be um, intimidating because we're so close,
Hmm.
but also I only would want the person that partnered with either of them to fit right into that best friend space. And so that was why
I think you
I
also give a
carried that.
lot of space as you're a girl's girl, basically. Like
Mm,
all our differences aside, anything people can seemingly see this is different, or it's like you want to give any girl, I think you want to give people that chance that they can be friends with you. And that is also rare
yes.
quality. So it was easy for me to, because what you just said, that what that unlocked in me was like, I remember getting on first call with you, having all these ideas that a mother-in-law would want me to be this way or this way, this way. I should be. I should be quieter. I always knew that I would be like not easy to digest for a mother-in-law. I think that was always there, but
Mm.
I had to not think that through. That never came up with you because first, the way you talk to me first time is how you talk to me now also. The same, you haven't
Mm.
changed as a person. So for me to catch that frequency, okay, so this is, I didn't have to do any special work to find out what you expect out of me or, what is the meaning of this connection. It was simple. It was friendship. And I always there is a movie the movie is on based on Adam and Eve, by the way, and in
Ah.
that in the where they are eternal creatures in that movie. So Eve
Mm.
says to Adam at some point that, don't you understand, Adam? The most important thing of being alive is after being alive since so long, since eternally you're alive, and you can't understand that the best thing to be alive is friendship, like to experience
Mm.
friendship. So that stayed with me because that was like, and to my mind at that point in teenage, it was like a revelation to me that I also feel friendship is very important feeling in life, in any connection. So yeah, and so I guess it worked out. I was looking for
Aw.
friendship and connections, and you were also. So
That's
that's good.
beautiful. And there was a moment, I think, so after you married, it was so cool because I didn't know what all the culture was going to be around the wedding festivities. And one of the special things is, of course, I wanted to be with my son as much as possible. And then there wasn't always enough time for me and Asta during the wedding festivities to have just alone time, especially because I brought my best friend and she was stealing Asta, trying to get her attention too. So we were kind of all fighting over Asta time. But
Really, I was,
yeah,
I was,
you were the treasure,
I
and we're like, we gotta get to Asta.
really, this is, I think I'm feeling so shy and so important right now. That's my,
Yeah,
wow.
you were such a, yeah, you were that important. You still are that important. You're my love and heart. And this one time I remember kind of noticing that you had positioned yourself. We were in I wanted to say after the wedding, they come home to our house, which was a rented house that we had. So we got the married couple at our house. We were like, yay, they came
Mm.
home with us. We're so lucky. And I got to undo Asta's hair.
Wow.
Um, all
Big.
the pins. She had a
Uh,
thousand bobby pins in her hair from the wedding, and the beautiful, oh wow, the beautiful attire that was on her for everything. But this hairdo, I got to just spend that
mm,
time undoing her hair and chatting and catching up. So having you in the space, like the living
mm,
space, there was a time at one of the events where we were all together that I noticed that Asta was like sitting on the ground, kind of like next to me or behind me a little bit, whatever, just kind of there and asking like how I was or if I needed anything. And you explained to me at some point like it's you're my mother-in-law. You don't understand what that means, and I'm here to serve you. And I was like, oh, you don't need to serve me. What? That's so weird. Don't
mm,
serve me. Get up off the ground. You're my girlfriend. But I understand now culturally
mm.
that it's a
It's
really special space that I just didn't even know how special I was going to be in the role of mother-in-law. So it's so cool because I already saw you as this treasure coming to India and into the family. And for you, an Indian girl who is like, what's my mother-in-law going to be like one day? The
mm.
impact of
You
how we
healed me.
both were so eager to have something beautiful and good and like
Mm.
life-giving. And then we both received that. It was so fun. And look
You
at us, we're on a
healed the
podcast.
daughter-in-law in me, like that I was always thinking that I will have to be this way, especially if, for some reason, clothes have been big part of my life, like what I'm wearing. And I always thought that my mother-in-law will have expectations about what I should wear. You not having that was like such a relief that she doesn't care what I wear. She doesn't care how many times I'm cooking in the day, how many hours I'm spending in the kitchen. because I think the women that do politics around these things are kind of bored in their life. And the thing with you is you were never bored. You were spiritually awakened. You were looking for the real meaning behind things and you were seeking those answers. I remembered seeing you and thinking that she feels like 16-year-old. So I think that that youth in you, it comes from the fact that you're not living in past. You have moved
Mm,
on. You have like came out of situations. You have proven yourself to yourself, not like you know
mm,
within yourself that you'll survive anything. And that shows, as a it shows that it's quality of a woman, like, like this woman is strong this way. And I can sense that. I can sense. So for me it was always like inspirational that my mother-in-law is, ticks all the boxes of being an awesome person in this world that this world can benefit from. So
mm,
that's how, so for me, then I just settled into that realization that, oh, she's not a household woman who's gonna expect me to be domesticated more in her ways
mm,
of doing things. She is independent and she understands that what kind of world we live in. She has ideas and she would rather talk them out with me. So I think that was like my experience of you.
mm.
That was shock for me. Moving on, we are still on the first.
So
What?
did you actually answer that maybe? What did you
Yeah,
expect? Okay, yeah, I thought so.
I expected a few things. I told you, this domestication,
Clothes
clothes,
and
and
mhm.
everything, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And um yeah, I always felt very weird that older people think that they can have a say in younger people's clothes in India. I
Mm,
find it very weird. So, and especially mother-in-laws tend to do that. And so yeah. So what is this one thing about Indian American slash American family culture that you initially found completely strange, and what do you understand differently now? So it's for both of us. You answer for Indian family culture that you initially found completely strange, but
huh,
how do you see it differently now? Hmm.
mm. I feel like I was blessed with an exposure to Indian culture because of my um, experience going to retreats in India at the ashram
Hmm.
and being around my kids and their life as they were learning about and becoming exposed to Indian culture and spirituality. Still, though, so I think I would have been in more culture shock and just absorbing it all. But I think this is going to sound really funny, but the thing I thought was strange was how loving and welcoming is your family.
Hmm.
Meaning, like it's so different than America, but yes, these are strangers, but yet family. Why my kids are we're getting the kids are marrying, but being welcomed at the door, like not we weren't allowed to come in to the house without a few minutes at the door, not understanding what was happening, but mommy and papa were getting all the things to bless us and welcome us properly. It's such a beautiful ritual. So door opens and we get a garland on us and we get a blessing, and there's probably a name for it that I don't know to this day. And I felt so, it's such a strange but like extraordinary feeling to be treated like, in America maybe the word would be royalty, like, but it's really like divinity, like we are here and we are being blessed and welcomed into this home as if we are the treasure, like we were talking.
Yeah.
And
Atiti
then
Devo Bhava.
no one lets you pick up a glass of water or get anything yourself. It's like, sit, let us wait on you hand and foot. So at first it's like, it's a lot. Like, oh, that's okay. You don't need to do this, right? But understanding quite quickly that there is no other way. It's just the way that your family wants to
Hmm.
host me and all of us that came from America. But what is beautiful is I witnessed them do that with everyone. And
Mm.
that's what's so beautiful is like they hold everyone, or at least treat everyone as if God is walking in the door. Touching of the feet is this beautiful thing that it can happen in just a second. Like even your cousins, nieces, nephews, they're cousins actually. Um, Teenage boys, little ones, come run up, touch your feet, and move on. To go
Right.
play. And
Mm.
it's like it's this really small act, and yet sometimes it brings me to tears. There's something about having the feet touched that seems very royal. Like, who am I that you would touch my feet? We don't have that in America. So the word for the question was what it was strange, and what do I know about it now? It's like the fact that the spirituality of your family, but Indian tradition is is that namaste, that word meaning like the God in me sees the God in you, is really played out in real time within your home and family. It's so beautiful. There's nothing to say about that. It's just like it's like wow. I love
What
being there because of that.
what you just said, that divinity getting played out, I think that's the best part of India. Anybody like I think if somebody was to ask me what I like best about my country is because the culture is so strong. Like it's like
Mm.
it's present in every small thing. Nothing is random if you look into it. So I also feel that. So I'm sure that that is impressive. That is the most impressive thing to me. Like
Yeah.
I grew up with my dadi a lot, my grandmother. So she took me in for a few years, and she actually cultured me, like in terms of like what are the. We used to wake up at 5 a.m. to go bath in running water, Ganga ji. We used to go to Ganga here in Haridwar. So she told me how are these things divine, how is everything divine, like trees are
Mm.
divine, morning is divine, birds are divine, Ganga is divine, like that. So,
Uh,
like, and even I growing up, I was like, besides that, I don't think this country has offered me much besides understanding of divinity through nature.
mm,
Anna. So
mm.
I, yeah, but
That's so
I'm,
beautiful.
so you are also here now and you see what I see. So let's
Mm.
see.
The other
It will be
funny
nice
part
to match
about
this. Huh?
oh,
Yeah.
the other funny part was like your family belting out songs. Like, so family is around, and this was wedding time, so lots of relatives are in town, and everybody just packs in rooms wherever we are. So there's maybe 20 plus people in this living room area, all sitting on the ground and on the couches, and the family just like starts deciding they want to sing songs and they're all in Hindi, what sounds like traditional song. Everyone's singing. No
Mm,
one's not singing, from littles to all the way to the older generation. And us Americans are sitting there listening, and we don't know the words, right? So just
mm,
like how cute it is that family is so sweet and singing together, and the joy everybody having, just laughing, and
mm,
Sonu was playing drums on the ground or whatever. Everybody's having so
mm.
much fun. And then they turn to us and they're like, okay, it's your turn, sing some American songs. And we just like froze up because what would you like try to answer
Mm,
that? What would you sing? Like typical traditional music is like America the Beautiful, like Star Spangled Banner. It feels like, or
mm.
finally my girlfriend Michelle, she was like, happy birthday? Like, what's a song we all know? Christmas songs? So it was really weird to be like to try to identify our culture versus your culture. And I felt like we don't really have like a culture of songs
Mm,
so much. So we were just kind of stuck at like deer in headlights. And we eventually started singing popular songs on the
mm,
radio. And everybody joined together, even your family. But
mm,
that was a like kind of funny moment of.
Mm.
recognizing what is this to be American? Not so rooted in like an ancient language of songs and traditions and dances and like all of that. Like, what is it? We have so
I
many
think.
different cultures in
Mhm.
every state here that it's very different. If you're in the South, if you're in the East Coast, West Coast, there's a
Right.
flavor there, but not a overarching, I feel, American, other than like patriotic music, which is
Mm.
very few that we all know.
But then it's in movies also. American movies also don't have songs. Indian movies have songs, musical breaks. Musical breaks is something like
Uh,
there's so much celebration. If there is even festivities, there's so much celebration, so much music. So music is like, and before if we go back into history, there was literally tribes of people, like people who identify as Baul, but there
uh,
were and then there is list of uh, roaming. They were wanderers, and they were dance and sing and entertain and earn their living on that, and just keep moving as families. They were legit families. There were traditions in this. They have different lifestyles, and they were
mm,
so Punjab had so many poets. Punjab had tribes like this. Rajasthan had tribes like this. The Romani people of Romania, they are also having Indian roots. So
mm.
they were always like singers and travelers from here, which just went with the flow. And I think that is still remaining in the thread of life, that everybody sings and dances and celebrates as part of celebrations and functions, right?
Yeah,
Events.
lots of celebrations is such a joy.
Mm.
There's like a bliss feeling that runs through your
I
culture.
think that's how humans process stress. If you're feeling
Mm,
stressed, dance it out. If you're feeling, when life happens, you will these
wow.
celebrations make you process these feelings. Like
Mm,
Sonu Bhaiya you mentioned, he started crying on my Sangeet function. Everybody's dancing and he just breaks out into this moment. And I think that helps process, like it's not always easy for a middle aged man to, just be able to cry, I guess. And in
uh,
celebrations, you get that safe space, hyped space, energetic space among your own people so you can process emotions. Yeah, I think
oh,
maybe that.
uh, anyone listening from America to this conversation, like this is what
Hmm.
if I don't spark an interest in going to visit India, I
Hmm.
don't know because it's like so there's such a heart there that I tapped into anyways, or maybe it's just your extraordinary family and my extraordinary daughter-in-law. But because I've met so many now, others, well, yeah, that's it too. Um, but when that's what you go looking for, that's what you find, right? It's
Hmm.
like anything, because certainly people have a view of India from America that's been just propaganda mostly, but also just their own thoughts about the culture and
Hmm.
maybe the caste system or things they've caught along the way. But that's when you go when you actually go into other countries and other cultures and immerse yourself. There's so much beauty there, I find.
I
So
I believe in this thought as well. If you want to hate the world, watch the news. If you want to love the world, travel the world. It's
travel.
as simple as that. Like
Mm,
what they are feeding you through all means, through all the sensory consumption
yeah.
that we do and living in cities and towns. Everywhere there is so
Mm,
much. Oh, this reminds me of the incident. Yesterday, we went to this place. My husband was like, so the Panditji who couldn't even speak English was very enthusiastic to want to talk to Adam.
uh,
And he was also a young guy. He was a Pandit, but he was a young priest. So he wanted Adam to tell him about how American culture is, but then and I was not interfering in the conversation, though I was understanding his Hindi. So, like, he was saying that, you know, American people are like this, right? And then they are like this, right? And then they are like this, right? And whatever Adam was understanding, he was like, not wrong, not wrong. Like, That was such a funny conversation to watch that he's confirming his bias about American culture from Adam, and Adam is just like, uh, because he doesn't speak back that much Hindi. So he was mostly just understanding and going with it. But that guy was very curious. So I think everybody, and what I understood, because I was like, this guy, he so wants to know what happens in America, but he's so proud of where he is from because he was like the Pandit there. He was so proud. He was saying that this is the land of Hanuman, this is the land of this god, and you should. He was trying to tell. He was thinking of Adam as a completely, like, he doesn't know anything about India. He was telling him from that
Mm,
perspective.
mm.
And that was like his view about his country, that he would sell to somebody that my country is this and that. And then trying to know from him, how is your country like? So, so one thing he said that, is it that you guys make children without marrying?
Make children.
He said, like, and Adam was like, not wrong, actually. Some people do that. He's like, right, I knew this. And
Oh,
I wanted to tell him that not all are like that. But I was like, let it go, yeah. If he is not telling, who am I to clear his doubts? And
yeah, it's like Americans
mm,
thinking the pictures of Calcutta and
mm,
Mother Teresa picking up poor
mm,
people from India. Aren't all people poor in India? People think when they ask me how my travels there are, isn't it really like dirt? There's lots of dirt and trash, and there's poor people everywhere. Like, go into our inner cities and the same is there, right? It just depends on where you go in any place that, sure, we can find the poor anywhere. The poor, maybe a definition of poor is needed, but
and in India, people think that anybody who goes to US maybe collects rupees, collects like dollars from the street itself. They are so rich. That's
yeah, yeah,
so it's all about the marketing projection that both countries, it has happened eventually, how they are
yeah.
marketed into the world. India is marketed as a third world country. America is the American dream. So people don't think that there can be nuances in any, and what is the, like, it takes effort to look deeply. It takes
Yeah.
effort to actually travel and find out for yourself.
Yeah, so true.
Hmm.
And what we find out, what I find out over and over again is how Americanized, if you want to call it, or just modern,
Hmm.
we'll call it modern life. Everywhere you travel usually has its influx of modernization, right? The McDonald's in the middle of Ecuador, or um, the way that you girls wear the same jeans and crop tops that we do in America, and it's like not everyone's in a sari. It's like how we view each other, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so what about you? Was there anything? The question was, so what's one thing about Indian American family culture that you found strange, and what do you see
What I
differently
found
now?
strange is that there are no roles defined for, like, in India,
Uh,
you get a lot of things by being, like, you just inherit that. By being the older sister, these are your duties. By being the younger sister, these are your duties. By being the, son, these are your duties.
mm.
But I feel in American families,